Andrew, on today's show, we are interviewing a man by the name of Bill Issler. Now, Bill Issler has actually created this company called the Virtuous VR Gaming. It's called Virtuous VR Gaming, and what he does is he makes video games that are interactive. They're the 3D games, the virtual reality games.
Yeah.
But they're designed to be clean, fun, interactive games. And he's actually teamed up with some of the world's best people in the world of visual effects to make this game. In fact, one of his video effects designers, this guy actually did all the special effects for the Avatar movie, the Avengers movie, the Hobbit, the Man of Steel, Transformers, and other hit movies that everybody out there knows, folks. You're going to love today's show. If you like video games, you're going to love today's show. I mean, if you like clean, wholesome video games that the entire family can play, you're going to love this interview with Bill Issler, the founder of the Virtuous VR Gaming Company.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colin Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C and Z up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, there's many listeners out there, Z, who play these things called video games.
Are you sure? Is it video?
It's pronounced video games. Video games.
Could be a silent V.
Have you heard
Could be
about
just
video?
idio.
Are you familiar?
Could just be
All the
like
kids are
video.
into it right now. Have you heard about these things called video games?
Yes, I have actually.
Well, today's guest is the CEO and founder of a company called Virtuous VR Gaming. Now, this guy has 40 years of experience in the steel fabrication and engineering software industry, and now what he's doing is he's bringing his business and virtual reality experience to the masses via this new company. It's incredible stuff. Bill Issler, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Bill, let's talk about this, man. And I realize you're kind of a big deal now, but where did you grow up, man? I mean, what was your life like growing up?
I grew up in just a familiar little family setting in Southern California, and from there got into family business and engineering, and then got into software, and from there the ideas just kept coming, and the ideas of starting my own business, and so I just kind of followed the track.
You follow the track. A lot of people get off the track, I think, because I think a lot of people maybe struggle with consistency. Why do you think a lot of people, Bill, get off the track?
Following your consistency deals with how you are inside, whether or not you're a joyful, you're a happy person, you're content, you found your passions. And so I think I had some passions that I wanted to follow, and I didn't know where it was going to take me. But as long as I pursued it, it took me to the next stage. So just one step at a time.
Now, you have over 40 years of experience in the steel fabrication and engineering software industry. When did you decide, or why did you decide to bring your experience and your background into the virtual reality space?
Well, it's towards the end of the 40 years when I was getting ready to look at the next venture after I retired. And at 65, I ended up selling the business. And so a couple of years before that, I started to see that VR was being used in construction. They were using it in amazing ways with AR and also VR to be able to help people see what's behind the wall when you couldn't see behind the wall with your X-ray vision. So by having the models with all the electronics, electrical figures, the HVAC, all of the works behind things that you could see, it seemed to be the next generation of things to come. So I pursued that. So I opened up a tech center for training, and I got a 16-foot video wall. I bought some of the the VR, AR toys, and started to play with how do we access that type of technology in our industry. And I found many players were already doing it, but it was just so unknown. So I wanted to be kind of the broadcast to do it. So I created industrylift.org to try to open up that area. And then from there, we got into developing little VR games for skilled trades to try to help people to be able to see the skilled trade without having to go out and actually do the job. So a high-rise steel worker could actually put on a headset and could be out and walking on steel for 5 minutes to see if that's the kind of job he would like. And when that took some traction, I just decided that taking it to the gaming level, entertainment, would be obviously next step.
Now, Z, speaking of steel, Bill the Thrill here, he has teamed up with, he's brought on some real genius people to create these games. Okay, so let me just tell you this. One of the Hollywood visual effects artists that he's brought on, this guy alone was working on, have you seen that little movie called Avatar?
I think
this homeboy was leading a team of people that did all the graphics. Aaron Antis, you heard the show with this guy. The Avatar. Also, he did the special effects for The Hobbit, the movie, The Avengers, a lot of Hollywood blockbusters. Man of Steel, Transformers.
Yep, heard of some of those.
So, I mean, how do you go, Bill, about hiring some of the world's best people to make the video games for you? What was your process? Did you shoot a flare gun into the sky and say, "Up here"? Great. I mean, how did you round up because you have a great team now?
Smoke signals, maybe?
It works out really good when you got two people who actually are looking to do the same thing. So I came from the steel industry and from the desire to do VR, and I looked on the internet, Google searches for people who were into VR and doing certain things. And I found his company, Immersive History, and I contacted him, and it turned out that he had developed a whole Old Testament, like a 2,000-year-old vision of Jerusalem and the biblical world. So I paid a visit with him to see what he was doing. And when I saw the quality of his work, and I realized that all the posters on the walls said he worked on Avatar and, like you said, Transformer, I knew this was a guy that had the potential to do some amazing things. And his personality just got so excited about getting into gaming. So we started going back and forth. He threw out a couple ideas, and the rest is history.
Z, I hate to make you. This is a clean show. This is a clean Christian show. We try to keep it clean,
We try.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Bill a question here, but I'm going to have to. I want to make the folks get ready, potentially to cover your ears with earmuffs, because the name of his company is called Virtuous VR Gaming. Which virtuous meaning good thing, virtuous, positive, maybe pro Christ, good stuff. But see, there's a lot of video gaming companies today that make a lot of games that allow people to. And a lot of video games where you can, and then other video games where you can, see if you've seen it where you can just sit there and, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of
hit the B button.
You know what I mean, though? There's a lot of video games that allow you, if you want to, you could actually. It's bad. I mean, Aaron, you've seen some of these video game titles. I mean, some of the games are violent, and they even allow you to do. I mean, you've seen it, Aaron.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
So, what made you decide to make a virtuous video gaming company as opposed to? Because it's so easy to sell these dirty, violent games. What made you decide to take the high road and make a positive game?
Well, I like doing things that maybe haven't quite been done, and so I like this pioneering new areas. So, in the construction, VR was just getting started, so that was a new area. And then I got into the games of the skilled trades, and no one has been doing that, so I kind of jumped in there. And then when we considered doing games, I thought, well, no one's really jumped into the genre of family-friendly games. Now, there are some good games out there. I mean, Beat Saber is a really exciting game that doesn't have any of your beep stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's just really just fun. It's entertaining. It's athletic. And so if we created games that just were enjoyed by families, I think we could get a whole bunch of families that have not yet jumped into VR because they're afraid of that other stuff, that they might just go and get into it and find out the value of it. Because everything has got a good and a bad side. You've got to pick wisely. And with parental guidance, I think we could actually do a really nice job.
Can you tell me about this
family.
You said, sorry, it cut out for just a second. You said you have a large family?
Large family, and I go to some of the activities. I was just at my niece's wedding in California. I brought the headset, and all my sister's grandkids were there, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 12, 11. They were just fighting over the games because they're having such a good time playing with just wholesome, good stuff. And we as adults are sitting on the sofa watching this projected onto a big screen, being able to just laugh and enjoy. What a family group gathering something together that the kids look forward to. I end up being the favorite uncle to come by. As long as I bring my headset, I'm the favorite uncle.
Now, let's talk about this game, Conquering Giants. And we're going to open it up here for kind of a virtual Virtuous VR gaming town hall, if you will. We're going to have the great people interrogate you with questions. So tell us about this new game you're working on here. What's the name of the game? Why are all the people out there going to love it?
Well, DVG really stands for David versus Goliath.
Oh.
It's based upon the awesome duel between David and Goliath is recorded in the Bible. It's a story that's kind of well known by many people. Even books been written about David and Goliath, the underdog versus the person who just really needs to be hit by somebody. So we decided that would be probably the most entertaining, the most fun game. And it opened up some opportunities for us because the weapon is actually a sling, a shepherd's sling. And right now, as far as we know, there's nothing out there in VR that uses a shepherd's sling. They're using guns, they're using bow and arrows, different things like that. So this was something unique. So we took the whole idea based upon the biblical story, but we took an imaginative twist on it. We've got 4 different levels of difficulty. We've got fighting in the pasture where you're fighting off the wolves. And you have to learn certain physical movements with the handsets. So it's a very physical game. And then you advance into the area where you're fighting off lion in a lion cave, and you've got to learn some new techniques. Then you get into the bear level, and you got to lure the bear, and you got to do some techniques. This is all learning skills, and when you finally master these techniques and master the use of this sling, then you get to go up against Goliath, and he's pretty ferocious.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. I'm watching the trailer.
You're watching the trailer right now?
I'm watching the trailer right now. It is pretty scary.
What are you thinking? Are you getting all worked up there?
I'm thinking I need to get better with my sling. I mean, obviously, my sling skills are not what they need to be to take on this big brute.
So, Z, what questions would you have, for Bill about maybe his new game, his new gaming company? I mean, what question would you have?
When does DVG come out? When does David vs. Goliath come out?
Well, we got the game finished. We just actually released it a little bit here last week at Indiecade. It's the International Gaming Conference. And so we introduced it there as our debut, and we've got on our website, dvgthegame.com, that it'll be ready for download on November 23rd. It took that long for us to get the approval from the Steam and the storing to be able to do the payment stuff. And then that works on the Oculus Rift and the Vive, which are wired headsets because it's such high intensity graphics.
Yeah.
But then we wanted to be able to port it to the new Facebook Oculus 2. They've increased the vision on that one and the clarity. So we're going to take an extra month and we're going to transport it, tone it down a little bit to get it so it fits onto that headset, because that's a standalone headset. They're selling it now for $299, which is unbelievably low to get into a full contained VR system.
And that was my next question.
December 23.
And that was my next question to you. What does it cost to get? I mean, if I want to go first class,
baby,
with VR. I've never experienced it by myself, by the way. And I was in the day I was quite the gamer. Clay.
Were you
may
really?
not have known that. I was quite the gamer.
I have audio, Bill, of Z actually playing. I don't know if you know this, Z. At the time, you
mic'd me.
Well,
back
the thing is,
then?
I wasn't born yet, but I was able to.
But you were still able to.
Well, listen here. Don't listen. This is a thing where I had family that knew, like, and almost like prophetically.
Yes, of course.
That you would be.
Yes.
And I'm doing a show together.
Wow.
So it appears, this could, again, all this could be true, or it could be just speculation and hoo-ha. But I'm going to play the audio. This is of you playing video games.
I give it 50-50.
You remember that?
That was me. That was me.
Tell because it's
me. All day long.
Now let me play real quick here, Bill. I want to get this out there. This is audio, Z, not of you. This is someone else playing the game. Yeah, it's like a woo woo, but then listen. But when you play,
siren.
It's more of like a. But then when someone else is playing, listen, see if you can tell. Is this you or the other person playing?
Okay, let me
is this
listen.
you? Here you go. Double blind study. You've never heard this audio before.
Here we go.
Is this you or someone else playing the arcade? Here we go.
That's the other guy.
That's incredible accuracy. Let me try one more. I have 2 more games. Sorry, Bill. This is just something I'm testing out. He's an optometrist and he owns a bank, and I often don't get a chance to play these trivia games. Let me do one more sound clip. You tell me if this is you or somebody else.
Now that was me.
Oh man! No, okay. Let's do this. Let me do final game. This game we're playing. Name that tune, Bill. This is an integrity game, and Pastor Hagen, you're a pastor of Rhema Bible College and church. You've seen me playing
the judge.
You can
He
see
can be
me
the judge of
playing
this.
the song. Aaron Antis, you can see me playing the song.
Yeah.
I have what appears to be a standard cowbell and some kind of device here. I'm gonna play the song and you tell me what song it is. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, that's easy. Prince, Purple Rain.
That's correct. Unbelievable. Wow.
That is.
I mean,
wow, that's almost like VR
Takes me back
fun
to the
right
80s
there.
right there. I mean, I got a little tear in my eye on that one.
Okay. All right.
So Bill, if I were to go first class, get the highest tech, I mean the cool stuff, the good stuff, with the ones that the rich kids are getting. If I wanted to get that and say,
Come on now.
for Christmas,
Christmas.
kids, here's what Daddy wants. Daddy wants the real good VR, and he wants this game called David vs. Goliath. Hook your daddy up, because your daddy loves you. What would
kind
you?
of family?
That was good.
That's a weird
Okay.
family, first of all.
That's okay. We God. Wow.
What
I'm
kind
getting
of
excited
family
about
is this?
It's gotta be. It's what their father loves them very much. I cannot believe you guys took it to a weird place. I was trying to ask my kids for a great Christmas gift.
Dad obviously doesn't even have a job if he can be home playing games all the time.
Well,
I mean,
well, I'm looking. I got my resumes out to several people. I'm thinking I'm going to get interviews soon. So, Bill, what would it cost? Seriously, what would it cost the first class, the best of the best, and then how much is your game that you're doing?
Well, I think the Facebook Oculus headsets right now that just came out this last couple of weeks is probably the place to start. They offer two versions, just a different size and memory. So you got the 64K or the megabyte, and you got the 256. The difference is $100. So $299 or $399 are the two options, and that's going to get you a really good headset.
Is that the best?
It's good. It's actually the best right now. You can get
Really?
higher graphics by getting the headset that's connected to the computer. That's going to cost you a gaming computer and the hassle of having a wire hang in there. So I'm not sure the trade-off is worth it for a gamer.
Yeah. And
So that
how
would
much
be-
is
that'd
your
be the
game?
first decision.
How much is this game kind of run a guy? What does that run?
I think our retail price is $25. Probably sell it for $20.
Wow.
I can't even take the family to a movie for
I can't
that
get a
with the
Kentucky
popcorn.
Fried
No.
Chicken
Yeah,
bucket of
popcorn
food for that.
I mean, the large soda and a popcorn is like $25.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Maybe we need to charge more for that. Let me. I'll tell you what. You sell it to me for $20, and I'll.
Hey, Bill, I
redo
want to ask.
that
Well,
now.
they're working out their multi-level scheme here for reselling your
I've
game.
got two friends. I've got two friends, and they both know two friends. We'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
this thing. We'll do it.
Bill, I have three quick questions for you. Then I'm going to turn it over to Aaron Antis and Pastor Craig to ask you some questions here. Three quick questions. Yeah. How do you make any money with this? I mean, how does if somebody out there is interested, this is a business show, how do you monetize what you do?
Well, actually, I'm a little bit of a unique story because I made my fortune in the steel business and the software, and I'm not actually looking to make money in this thing. I'm looking to make an impact on families. So I'm not.
that's awesome.
I really I didn't have a budget. I just said, let's go ahead and just make this game really cool, whatever it costs, and if it makes some money, we'll just put it into the next version. Now, I do think, based upon the feedback we're getting now, it actually will cover its costs and make some money, and that just means the next game is going to be so much faster.
Second question I have for you here. How did do you have where are you guys located? You know, what state are you guys in?
Well, I'm in Williamsburg, Virginia, but I had a remote business, so my people are all over the country, around the world. So it's really a remote option.
And
That's why the whole pandemic thing didn't really bother us, because we had already working virtually.
And how do you market this game? What is your plan? How do you market the game?
Well, I contacted some PR people who have been in our industry for some years, and they've got a whole bunch of influencers going to churches and going to organizations and schools, and I think just getting it out to Indiecade, getting it out there, I think that is just going to be able to start the process going. Then we've got people who are going to social media. Being on your show obviously was one of the biggest winners.
Well, Bill, I
appreciate
appreciate you
that.
saying that. It's interesting, Z, when his booking people reached out and they said, "Hey, are you in fact the lowest rated, worst produced podcast on the internet? And I said, yes, we
yes,
are.
Yes,
yeah,
we are.
And
You
they
got the
said,
right number.
That's
Yeah.
what we're looking
How'd
for.
you find us?
We want to set this bar low so that way any future bookings that Bill has, they're good in comparison.
Right.
Would you be willing to accept the challenge?
Right.
And so I'm absolutely. And then I played for them audio for like 30 minutes. I said, I'm only going to book Bill on the show if you will suffer through this audio and tell me, is this Dr. Zellner
It must have worked
or
out.
a man by the name of Kevin Johnson from 1984 playing this game?
And they must have guessed right.
They guessed correctly, which is how that
Wow,
is how it
that's-
happened. Okay, so Aaron, what question would you have for Bill the Thrill?
Oh, I've got a good one here. So lately, of course, we're in this crazy cancel culture, and we've had a lot of like videos and video games that have police officers in it. So I think that your next game should probably be something where you're like virtually
Beating Antifa?
a police officer battling Antifa and trying to keep them from burning your police car. And then ultimately, like, you know, there's always a boss battle, and at the end is a boss battle where they're trying to get into the
They battle
federal
George Soros.
building
Oh, yeah,
and burn it down.
Bill,
and
what do you
gotta
think
stop
about
'em.
this? What do you
So,
think about this?
What do you think about my
It's
idea?
called Sleepless in Seattle is the name of the game.
I'm writing it down right now, and I'm trying to figure out how it fits into.
But I think the
family
bad boss
friendly.
needs to be George
Maybe it's because
Soros.
it protects the family from the friendlies.
Right, right. I mean, but seriously, like, you probably have some other, you know, stuff that you've done in the past. Have you ever done the actual Sleepless in Seattle where you're, you know, is that a game that you've made in the past, or are there other things that you've done?
Well, I'm new in the gaming field, so I'm open to contacting the people like Jerem Sidwell from Immersive History who have the background and can do these things. I want to be the facilitator.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what you're saying is I have a chance if I wanted to like hook up
That's
with
what I'm
you
saying.
later. And
Now
do
that now
You want to
listen,
start
Bill,
a new game?
Bill, before Pastor Craig asks you the final question of the show, Z and I have some questions for you. Okay. We have gotten together. We've gathered what we perceive to be, what we believe to be the best plethora. A plethora of audio sound bites of people playing games from the 80s.
Yeah.
And Bill, you're looking young, but I believe you've been through the 80s. You're aware of the 80s. And so we're going to cue up the audio, and if you can guess correctly what this game is, we're going to do it two rounds.
Mega point.
You get a mega point.
Oh, that's.
So you have to
Bill, you
guess
don't
what
wanna-
game this is, Bill.
You don't want to miss out on a
And
mega
is
point.
this or is this not Dr. Zellner playing it? So Bill, I'll just play a small sample. Here we go. Let me go.
I'll take Mario Brothers.
Keep going, Bill. Keep going. Keep going, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Come on, Bill. Here
Come
we
on,
go.
Bill. You can do it, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Come on,
They're invading. Come on, Bill. I give you.
Bill.
Invaders.
There you
It
go.
starts with a gala.
Galaxy Invaders.
It starts with gala and then ends with ga.
Oh, that's. Oh, that's. I misinformed you. I misinformed you.
That's right, Bill. It's Galaga. Yes. Now, Bill, real quick here for the mega point. Is that Dr. Z playing the game or was that Pastor Hagen?
Pastor Hagen.
Absolutely correct.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I like that game.
One more game. Sorry, guys. I have to do this. I know this is
do
what
it.
the listeners want on this audio-only program. This is one more game. What game is it and who's playing it? Here we go. Let me queued up here.
Oh, I know this.
Bill, what game do you believe it is? I'll give you a hint here. It starts with a donkey, ends with a Kong.
Let me guess. Donkey Kong.
Yes!
Amazing.
Holy
Fire.
crap.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Oh,
He's on
David versus
fire.
Goliath out of the millions of game titles. How can you possibly?
This thing is sure working well tonight. Woo.
Who needs VR when you can play this game now? Okay,
Come on now.
No, was that Pastor Hagen playing the game, or was that Dr. Zellner?
Think hard.
Dr. Zoner.
There you
Oh,
go.
yes, unbelievable.
How
okay,
does he know?
Pastor Craig.
Well, he's sure. You know what? He's actually.
Signs and wonders. Signs and wonders.
He's in his wheelhouse now. He does know his gaming.
That's the word of knowledge.
Pastor Craig, we obviously have a clairvoyant guest on the show. He did well in the steel industry, doing great in the VR industry. What final question do you have for him?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for putting a video game out that our kids can play, and we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But
real.
me as a pastor, you know, we have youth groups, we have children's groups that might be interested in your game. I mean, how do we get the information to them? Or I know we have like PlayStations and stuff, but we don't have any Oculuses or anything like that at this moment. But how do we get the word out that it's available? And what's your next game coming out?
The next game is still being developed here. We've got a few options, but as far as the website, dvgthegame.com is where the information is.
Got it.
Something you might be interested in. There's a link on the menu that goes to FAQs, and that really answers all the questions about why we chose David and Goliath, who they are, how the stories came, where they're recorded, how accuracy are they myths. So that's kind of like a little educational thing for those people who are interested in doing that.
Very cool.
Bill, one of the next games you can do is Clay versus Z. His super move is a headbutt because his head is like 10 times the size of a normal.
It's a 19 3/4.
And my super move would be a reverse donkey kick. And those are the super moves.
It's really embarrassing. It takes 4
one.
adult hats to make one hat for me.
Just 4.
It's 4.
That would see
6 raccoons.
CVZ, would that be the short Clay versus?
Yeah, I like
Clay
that.
versus Z.
I like that.
I heard Bill's working
great
on one.
title.
It's like you wear it on your head, but it's the shape of a watermelon, but bigger.
Yeah.
And they've hollowed it out, and that's what I wear on my head.
That's your helmet.
As far as Mr. Hagen's question on the youth group, that's something that very interests me. I'd love to be able to follow up, maybe see, because we're into some philanthropy. I'd love to be able to see if we can find ways to get headsets donated to groups.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah,
we can start
that would
finding
be
out how this
awesome.
actually works with youth groups. We've got a few that are going to be starting it in the next few weeks. Maybe that's something we can actually find a way to get out there.
Bill, what I'm going to do.
What a great way to get kids to youth group, too.
yeah.
An outreach. Say, hey, come on and do
Now-
this VR, this new gaming, and
Now, Bill,
have that set up.
When
That'd
we
be
get
fun.
off, what I'll do is I'll make sure you guys exchange cell phone numbers so you guys can talk
All right,
offline. Because
yeah.
Pastor Craig has a mega church. It's Rhema Bible College. It's the big church. It's massive, thousands of people. How many people are impacted by the Rhema ministry throughout the world right now?
Well, actually, we've had 88,000 graduates from our Bible school.
88,000 graduates from their Bible school there, Bill.
And we have
Fantastic.
3,000 schools pastored. 3,000 churches pastored by Rhema grads all around the world.
3,000 churches right now are Rhema-related churches around the world.
And 250 something books.
I'm not a math guy, but that's more than 7, folks. That's more than 7. Bill, I appreciate you being on the show. One more time, what's that website?
dvgthegame.com.
dvgthegame.com. That's dvgthegame.com. Z, one more time. It's
It looks hot.
DVG the game.
DVG.
The game.
The game.
For somebody whose
.com.
speaker was cutting out, it's dvgthegame.com. For somebody who's driving right now, they're going, look, I'm trying to eat baked beans while
I'm trying to
updating
get
my
the truck stop to
Instagram,
write
and
it down.
I'm trying to also, drive, and I'm trying to signal, and I'm also trying to do a little Snapchat thing. We want to give people time to be safe, so you give you a chance to pull over. And one more time, that website, Bill, want to make sure our listeners don't injure themselves while attempting to write down your website while also using social media while driving.
It's not David versus Goliath, but it is dvgthegame.com.
David, I tell you what, Bill, I appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for making David and Goliath come alive. You, sir, are a great American.
Making the world a better place. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
And we're off. Hey, Bill. Craig, what's your phone number?
I went down the air.
Yeah, we're off.
918.
Yep.
607.
Yep.
1297.
1297. Okay, and then, Bill, what's your phone number?
724
Yep.
556
Yep.
9113.
9113. Again, Craig, your number is 918-607-1297.
Yeah.
07.
And you guys can become fast friends, and then there it is. Boom.
That's a move. I think it's a good move.
It's a good move.
It's a great move. I think youth groups would, I think that's just the move. These kids would love that.
Oh,
Bill,
I tell you what, brother, thank you so much for being here, man.
Well, it's my pleasure. Getting the word out is going to be the fun part of this whole thing, and getting the responses. Making an impact is kind of where I'm at. So
I love it.
I'm
Bill,
happy if it works.
that's so awesome. A guy that's worked so hard, been blessed, made a lot of money, and now he's wanting to give back. I just think that's just
move.
a story that needs to be told more and more and more. Love it. Well
real.
done.
Bill, you have a
Well
great
done.
rest of your night, Chief.
Okay, thank you guys.
See ya.
Appreciate you.
Bye. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people. I love working with people. I love the building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things, the processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.